everybody, and welcome to another Adventures in Truth livecast. My name is Jim Case. I am your host. Excited that you're here today. And before we get started, got to do that little business in the beginning. If you're watching us on E360 TV, thank you for being here. Love this station and love being a part of this group. And thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube Live or Facebook Live, make sure you like and subscribe, share the window so that others can participate in this amazing class we're going to have today. And where else are we? We are on www.adventuresintruth.com. You can watch right directly live on my website. So I appreciate y'all being here. I'm looking forward to a great show. This is going to be a lot of fun today. Embracing eclipse energy. And well, fun may be relative, but it's going to be a good time because depending on what you're dealing with, it may not feel like a lot of fun. But what we decided to do today, we have a major eclipse coming up here next weekend, and wanted to, I think it's next week. Is it October or November? I think it's the end of the month. Anyway, Shellie will clarify that for us. But we are coming into this amazing energy, this lunar eclipse energy. So we want to talk about that, but we wanted to go to a different level today. And so Shelley's going to work with us and kind of take us into a little bit of a workshop so we can actually look at our own chart. So if you happen to have your natal chart handy, please grab it. Join us with it so that when we get to that part of the show, you'll be able to follow along and also look at how you can understand how these influences are affecting you based on how your chart is laid out. So I encourage you to do that. And so it's going to be a great conversation, a lot of good information that not only will help understand how you look at the eclipse, but also how you can look at your chart, because in looking at the chart, it's looking at planets and looking at the relationships and all of that, whether it's an eclipse or whether it's an opposition or whether it's anything else within astrology, as soon as you start doing it, it all starts to make more sense. And you get to the intuitive nature of how this all unfolds and the influences of these energies. So I'm excited about this today. We were laughing a little bit earlier because I said, Shellie, the big difference is you're probably going to talk more than me today, if that's possible. So we're going to have a good time with this. I'm excited about it, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. www.fearischoicebook.com, guys, check it out. Powerful book. I'm very, very happy about this. I'm also very excited because this is, I'm now a month into my anniversary for 1 year of having my book and being a published author, and it's all still very exciting and engaging. But the thing about the book is not just about selling the book; it's about understanding that this book has a powerful impact, and that is changing your relationship with fear. And I'm excited with how it turned out because it does exactly what I hoped it would when I originally got whatever downloaded early on, was that I wanted something that people could read, but as they were reading, they could go into their own experience because the process could walk them into their experience in a very gentle way that enables you to start understanding in depth your relationship with fear and the things that have held you back from your greatest expression. So I'm not going to take a lot of time with this today. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's ordered the book. Thank you for the reviews. Keep them coming. Keep those orders coming. I appreciate you guys very much. And there's a lot of good things coming down the pipeline we're going to use with the book and potentially another book. So we'll see how that goes. But we'll be right back right after this. Woohoo! Oh, I'm a little behind myself today. All right, guys, My World is Good. Just a quick segment here on My World is Good. You all know what it is. If you don't, this is a movement that I created to support the year of conscious creation, which is really what this is all about. Understanding that we are conscious creators, and this creation process that we are in. We are 7.5 to 8 billion unique worlds inhabiting one planet. And I say that because nobody can live your life for you. No one can create your life for you. No one can change your life for you without your consent. There's so much of this that it's so interesting to me that nobody can do what you do. So you are creating within the context of your own world. And so adding this neutral positive statement for me is about expanding this positive consciousness in the world. My world is good. It seems simple, but we have been inundated so powerfully with so many different levels of fear and anxiety and craziness and lunacy that I wanted something that could pierce through all of that, that didn't have any grandiosity or didn't have any weirdness to it. It's just straightforward. My world is good. Everyone can relate to goodness. Everyone can relate to the desire to feel and experience the goodness in their world. And that's what this is about. Bring this into your world. Feel it deeply and powerfully. Feel it in deep appreciation. Feel and notice the things in your world and begin to feel my world is good. My world is good 10 times in the morning, 10 times at the end of the day. Just feel into it. And if your alignment is feeling wonky during the day, use it some more to ground yourself into this powerful experience of my world is good. And let's create a tipping point together where the goodness in the world outweighs the negativity in the world. And that's my desire. That's my hope, is that we bring more love to the planet, more joy to the planet, more joy to us individually, so that as we bring more joy, we share more joy. As we share more joy, we touch more people. And it spreads like wildfire. My world is good. Check it out. Thank you for being part of it. Thank you for participating. And we'll be back right after this. Whoops. Boom. All right. Welcome to the show. Here we go. We're going to bring Shellie in here. We're going to get diving into, if I can find where I'm going here, bracing. Goodness gracious. I got buttons and things all over the place. I'm just like, come on, Jim. I'm
okay,
talking
Jim.
90 miles an hour.
Mercury will be up to speed soon.
Okay. I'm going to take a breath now and just kind of be here with my friend Shellie. Good morning. It's wonderful to see you. How are you?
Good morning. It's great
enjoying
to be
all the
here.
Influences?
Well, I'm enjoying the fact that we're coming out of that retrograde cycle.
Yes. It's just...
And again, things aren't up to speed yet. No. Mercury particularly. Got a couple of days left for that to get going. But here we are, and we're going to do our best at communicating.
Good. Well, I'm excited. This is going to be a great topic today. So we're going to talk about embracing eclipse energy. Mm-hmm. So we've done quite a few shows, a couple shows actually, on...
I'm going to have glasses on today, too.
Yeah, that's all right. I have to keep taking mine on and off. I got these glasses because they said they were non-reflective, and that's just not true.
Right. I'm going to be looking at charts and slides, so I should be able to see.
So embracing the eclipse energy. So let's talk about this particular eclipse is a lunar eclipse, and where is it? Here we go.
Yes.
Lunar eclipse
it's
happening
in November.
November. When I said it in earlier, I went, wait, you're in the wrong month, buddy. You're in the wrong...
Right. We have to wait for the next full moon to have a lunar eclipse. And we just had this morning. That was part of the energy that was like so wild. Yeah. It was our full moon this morning in Aries.
And very powerful and very energetic. Aries energy always kind of freaks me out because it's so bombastic in its feeling that it's like it feels like fireworks, kind of just except with no display, just firework energy. Yeah, I can't even enjoy the pretty lights.
Right, that comes later in the zodiac.
That's right. All right, so let's dive into this.
Okay.
I want to use as much time as we can to make sure we're giving this the adequate time that it needs because this is multi-level to me. This is, yes, we are going to be focusing in on this particular aspect because it's powerful, because it has some profound impact that we're going to talk about in potentiality with its influence. But understand, as I said earlier, this is also a way for you to begin to look into your own chart in a meaningful way, because Shelley's going to kind of talk us through how we look at this. How do we look at these energies in this particular configuration? And then hopefully you'll be able to take that in the individuals. If you have your chart, you'll be able to take that and learn more about the different influences in your chart. And if you don't, it gives you a chance to connect to Shelley and tap into her work and let her help you walk through that process. So either way, it's a win-win here. You got great stuff going in every direction. So, okay, I'm going to calm down now and let you talk about lunar eclipses.
Okay.
And let me know when you want the graphics up.
Well, if the first graphic has an eclipse of the moon aspect to it, that's okay.
This
Good.
one?
Yeah, that's great. This is really basically what we want to say. You can see that it's at 3:57 a.m. Eastern, and this is one of the things is sometimes we get to see events. This one you'll be able to see in the United States because the moon is up at night when it's a full moon. And if you're up, you want to get up that early, you'd be able to see this eclipse take place. But, you know, the diagram is showing you that what's happening here is that the Earth has moved to a point. This is all about relationships in both ways, both the lunar eclipse and how it forms. That is exactly in the right place to block the light of the sun from hitting the face of the moon. So the moon is the little circle, the Earth is the big circle. And so where that darkness is where people would see the eclipse taking place. And it's not always shadow over everywhere, you know. So this one happens to have a pretty wide influence, and it's going to reach all the way to the Oval Office and affect the chart of our president. So this is kind of a big moment. And what we are, again, looking at is the fact that we do have eclipses, 2 lunars and 2 solars every year. And 2020 was a little more intense because it had 5 eclipses, 3 lunars and 2 solars. So it was giving us this experience of having the light blocked. And the lunar eclipse has an effect, but the solar eclipse is the one that really they've studied and they've seen a shift in the electromagnetic field. And so things in nature respond to these eclipses also, like birds and, you know, the rest of nature feels an eclipse, and so do we. Mm-hmm. And every eclipse is about an ending and a new beginning. So when we're looking at the lunar, we have either a partial or a full lunar eclipse, and the moon is about our instinctive responses to the environment and to events. Mm. It isn't a thinking process. It's about feelings. Feelings are different than emotions. Feelings can generate emotions. Feelings is just what happens, you know. And when your moon is processing, it's instantaneous feeling. Right? So it's about how we then go forward with that feeling. So the lunar eclipse is going to bring out something that's been brewing, that hasn't been dealt with, that needs to take a different path. Because once we come to an ending, what happens? We have a new beginning. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the reasons that we wanted to talk about this today, is because historically in the past, eclipses were fearful events. Mm-hmm. And fear is a choice. Somebody said who that was, but anyway, I think he wrote a book about it. So, We have the opportunity. This is how I like to look at astrology. If we are consciously aware that something is happening, then we can consciously participate. And as you said, when we're doing My World is Good, we're consciously participating in sending an energy. So this is the point of what we're talking about now. Your conscious participation with the coming lunar eclipse, because there is a potential for this to actually be a good shift. You can make it so. And that is the key. That's what we're looking at.
Okay.
So,
So let's take a quick break here, and do a quick moment of focus, because I think you did a beautiful job of pulling together this what we're going to be focusing into, and this is a great place now. We can get everybody's energy lined up and carry on from there. So we're gonna. What's that?
And mine.
And you
do the breathing also.
That's right. Excellent. All right, guys. Shellie will be right back. We're going to take a quick moment to focus. Guys, this is one of my favorite parts of the show, in addition to talking to all these amazing people. I like to kind of set the stage for where we're going, and then focus all of our energy into that, into our space, into the energy, so that as we continue, regardless of whether you're able to interact with us or not, your energy of this concept will come through. We'll be able to answer questions. We'll be able to talk about things that will answer your questions, because that's how collective energy works. The idea of where two or more are gathered. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And I think it's a profound and powerful energy. And while it seems passive, I think it's an extraordinary way for us to harness our energies together. So I want you to take a big, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, and get comfortable wherever you are, and get situated wherever you are as you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And begin to focus your awareness now into the center of your heart. If you want, take your middle fingers and just feel into the breastbone, right into the area where your heart chakra is, or where your heart space is. And notice that there's a little soft spot there. Just gently touching in that. It's the collagen in the skin is piezoelectric. So when you touch into different points in the body, you create an electrical charge that sends energy through the system. And so a gentle touch here just brings awareness in the energy system to the heart space as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Focusing deeply into the heart, into the center of your breath, feeling the extraordinary power of that breath as you inhale through the nose and exhale from the mouth. And as you continue to breathe, go deeper and deeper into the experience of your breath, and just be aware of your breath, how you breathe. How do you take air in? How do you feel the air in your body? How do your lungs expand? Just be aware for this moment as you continue to inhale through the nose and exhale from the mouth. Settling into that experience of you and your breath. It is the only relationship there is right now, you and your breath. And as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, I want you now to become aware of your field. Your field is that energy, the energy of you that extends well beyond your physical vessel, well beyond this amazing body that you are carrying around in this physical world of time and space. And as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, I want you to be aware of how enormous your field is, how big, how incredible you are. And you may experience it in any number of ways. Some people feel it. Some people can see it. Some people see color. Some people see essences. Some have an experience. Some have a sense. Some hear things or smell things. It doesn't matter how you experience it. Just allow yourself to experience it and communicate with yourself as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you focus into that powerful field, and just look around with your eyes closed, look around at your field in 360 degrees on multiple dimensions. Just be aware of the incredible expanse of all of you, and understand that this expanse is how it all comes together energetically as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, feel you. And I'm going to ask you now to call your field into your heart space, right? I want you to feel that energy, but I want you to call that energy in. I want you to feel the tingling and the warmth and the buzz that happens as you call that energy into your heart space, and that energy begins to coalesce and build. It's not less, it's just condensed, so it feels more intently as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just be in that experience as we breathe together. We're going to inhale to a count of 4. We're going to hold that in that fullness of that incredible energy. And then we're going to surrender all of the energy and air to a count of 6, purging to the deepest levels, letting go of all that energy and air. And then we're going to rest in that emptiness. We're going to rest in the anticipation of the next moment. And recognizing that breath is prana, it's chi, it's life force. As you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, be aware that every breath is a cycle of creation. Every breath you are creating. As you take in life force, as you hold that life force, and then as you surrender it because you're preparing for the next moment, you are creating. As you inhale through the nose and exhale from the mouth. And now in full focus, focus deeply into the heart, deeply into that field of energy that you've called into your heart. Here we go. As we inhale, 2, 3, 4, feeling full, feeling rich, feeling amazing as you rest into that feeling. And now surrender, exhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, releasing it all in this moment as you rest into that emptiness. Rest into the void, into the not know. Relax into it as you engage the lungs and inhale. 2, 3, 4, feel how full and magnificent you feel right now. Feel that amazing sense of power and choose to surrender it in this moment as you release it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Rest in that emptiness. Rest in that not know. Be content in the void. Be well in the void as you engage the lungs and inhale. 2, 3, 4, that anticipation explodes through your body as that breath fills you, and you feel the aliveness and life of the fullness of your breath. And then you choose to surrender it in this moment, getting ready for the next as you exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then resting in that emptiness, in that void, in anticipation, in that state of readiness. As you continue the breath on your own now, same cycle process, just in breathing in and taking in as much of that vital life energy as you can and feeling it coursing through every cell of your body. Feel it saturating every part of you in that new energy, in that aliveness. And then rest in it and relish in it and enjoy it. And then choose to surrender it as you let go of this moment into the next moment, surrendering all the breath and energy, anticipating the space of allowing, being ready for the next moment. As you inhale again and continue that breath process, feeling it deeply, feeling the energizing, feeling the energy that you've coalesced around your heart, vibrating and emanating in all of this amazing energy just tingling through your whole system. And as you continue that breath process, take these words, let them wash over you. Just let them inform your experience. I am the evolution of God realized as matter. I inform and guide that expression as the pure expression of God. I show up as God. I connect as God. I align as God. I am creation realized, and from that I expand, I connect, I align, I am. Feel that deeply. As that breath continues to move through you, remember the managing of the breath is learning to manage energy. As you become more conscious of your breath, you become more conscious of your energy. Let the breath guide that, because the breath is the energy, the life force that animates you. Feel into that. And now let that life force, let that chi, let that energy that you've accumulated, that field that you've called forth, let it expand. And let yourself watch it. Let yourself feel the enormity of all that you are expanding beyond the physical body, moving out into the universe, out into the world, interacting with everything around you. This is how we communicate. This is how we align. This is how we create through this vast, fabulous field of energy and power. Let it continue to go, and notice that it expands well beyond your ability to see it, because that's how magnificent you are. And let that space come back into this moment as we bring Shellie back into the fold to continue our amazing conversation today, which I'm very excited about and continue to be. All right, and we are back, and just bring all that wonderful energy here, and let's carry on this conversation.
Okay. So, you have a slide of the eclipse itself.
The eclipse itself, I do. Dun, dun, dun.
I think you said
this one.
So,
is it this one?
Yeah. Yeah. That is showing you in the outer ring of the chart the eclipse energy and how it is affecting the chart of the president, Biden. When you're looking at how an eclipse is going to affect you, and again, this is going to be a lunar eclipse, it's going to be about relationships, important relationships to people, also to ideas, and also to situations and things. You know, people aren't the only thing that comes into this mix here. Mm-hmm. And when you're looking at how it affects me, you want to know what houses of the chart, where it is falling, because that's going to be where the action seems to be taking place, where the aha moment should arise about something that has to shift. And then you look to see if that moon or sun are making direct attaching degree aspects to any planets in your birth chart, because that will make it more emphatic if the actual eclipse is falling on something in your birth chart. Everybody will feel it, and it's a 6-month orb of influence. You know, so
it's, if I go ahead, I just want to ask. Just to bring a quick. So we're looking at, because you're looking. Maybe you haven't gotten there yet. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so so if you have the exact aspect to a planet, you will probably, likely, definitely feel the eclipse more than other people as it is taking place or as it is occurring. Okay. To give you the example I always use, and it was a solar eclipse, we had one that cut the country in half. It was at 29 degrees of Leo. If you had a planet there, which a president did, our former president had his Mars there. So he got stirred tremendously, and that was August of 2017. And it was a solar that cut the country in half. So we can see, but if we had been consciously participating, knowing that, we could have been putting a certain intention of energy. So, you know, lunar eclipse, we're looking at Biden's chart. We could see, and we're going to look at your chart in a second, that the sun is exactly on the sun of Biden. That's the circle with the dot. You can see it on the left side in the house that has the number 12. This is a background influence, and the moon is opposite from the house that says number 6, the crescent. And that is a house that deals with health. So people have been saying things like health issues, but it also, we know that this is a person who's in deep negotiations now about Taurus things, money, right? So the 6th house is also the people who work with him, his group of employees. It's his work environment. So what we may be finding is that there's going to be a shift for him in how he's dealing with the people who surround him.
So he's got an opposition between his inner and outer worlds, right? His sun and his moon are in opposition in his natal chart. Is that correct?
No, the
No.
eclipsed moon at Taurus, 27 Taurus, is opposing his sun, his
Okay,
natal sun.
gotcha. Got it. Okay.
So, and the sun that's transiting, because it's a full moon, is conjunct. It's like it's his birthday. This is his birthday aspect. Well, happy birthday.
Interesting.
What do you have to change in your work environment?
Yeah.
What's going on with your health? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you, stuff like that. These are things that he could be seriously looking at if he's conscious of the fact that this is happening for him. We get to feel like a victim when we're not conscious of what's going on, when we're not being aware of things, right?
Yes.
But, he could be, well, it would be nice. I mean, he has it actually opposing a few planets.
Okay,
So,
so
but there
the
will,
inner ring is his birth assignments.
the inner ring is his birth chart. He's
The
got a
outer
lot of
ring.
Scorpio hidden.
Okay.
And that's why he's such a great negotiator. You don't even see his negotiating. This is why this man is known for this, being able to
Yeah.
reach across aisles and stuff. But now we're looking at a serious time of division. And what the main thing we divide about is money. Who gets to have money? Who doesn't get to have money?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Okay.
gets to be taxed? Who doesn't? Can we put money somewhere that would help people? So that's Taurus energy. And this is, so it shows you he's working really hard and he's working behind the scenes, and it's just that there is a peak at this lunar eclipse. We'll see it. I mean, remember, you heard it here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
On November 19th, around about, there's going to be a big shift in how this area of his life is being handled, because he has an agenda that
Yeah.
he's got to get happening.
So
Right?
the likelihood of this being a purely internal process for him on the world stage is highly unlikely because of his out in the worldness. Right? Would that
Yes.
be correct? I'm finding it
You would be
interesting too.
correct. And
I'm
also
finding
because the moon is in a sign that deals with people. It's the sign of work and service. It's not just
yeah.
a personal, yeah.
So it's tough for me to see, and I'm going to ask the question again because I keep looking at it and I'm going, what is going on here? So Taurus rules his sixth house. Is that correct?
Well, yes.
Okay. So and then his moon. Oh, that's his transited moon. Never mind. That's why I'm confused.
The outer
Okay.
ring is the
The outer ring
moment
is the
of the eclipse. The
okay.
inner ring is his chart. So the way we
So
put these on, so we can see the relationships between
okay,
the
that's where I
events.
was asking about the opposition because his moon, the transiting moon, will be in Taurus in the sixth house, opposing the moon in Scorpio.
No, opposing the sun in
The sun, I
Scorpio.
mean, in sun.
Yeah.
So is that an opposition?
He has, okay, at birth, he has a Taurus moon, but it's 0 degrees. And I don't think we should go too far in here.
Okay, then I won't.
Right?
I'll back up. I just was looking
because
at.
I'm teaching astrology.
Right. No, my only point
And
was in
people,
looking at this as just looking at this the way I'm looking at it. I see this transited moon, and I see the potential of this opposition to his natal sun and his transiting sun, and I'm like, wow, that's really intense. That's where the
it's
question was about
intense.
inner and outer
Yeah.
worlds. That his inner and outer worlds are going at it in that experience. But wow, what a busy chart.
His private secret place. And also that
Which
is
is
a
the 12th
house.
house, right?
The 12th house is a house of what we call hidden enemies also.
Yep.
So this event it's still a full moon, even though the light will be eclipsed. The full moon is a peak. And at the full moon, we're forced to see things because there's more light. So there may be
right?
somebody may be revealed.
Right on.
Okay.
That's cool.
So you'll see it and you'll know that it was because of this lunar eclipse.
That's right. It was said here. It was said here.
And it has 6 months. It has 6 months to move forward. And
So
the solar,
once this energy is pinged, and I want to make sure that this is clear. So this moon comes around and it pings whatever planets and energies within your chart, and that ping will have a 6 month orb of influence. So from
yes,
November through somewhere around April or May, we're going to be seeing the unfolding of the impact of this eclipse.
yes,
Is that, do I understand
exactly.
that? Okay, beautiful.
Exactly right. Yes. And
Okay,
we do have, this is what I want to say though, because we'll get to this as how to get the gift out of this.
okay,
You may not be aware because you don't know the eclipses are coming, but you already have an idea. I mean, we are able to receive messages and we cannot notice them. But wherever this is falling for you, you already have an idea of something going on that might come to a head or might need to change. So
yeah.
it's not always like a complete out of the blue experience.
Well, and if you're being conscious in your experience, it shouldn't be. It may be there
Right.
may be some delightful surprises, but if you are knocked down by something, then you're apparently not paying attention.
That is a good chance. Or you're denying it, right? So
Yes. All right. So if it's all right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we'll take this another step further. Sound all right to you?
great.
All
Yep.
right. We'll be right back. Yep. All right, guys. Quick change for me here. Sorry. Activate Evolution. Where am I? There it is. ActivateEvolution.com. I am so excited. November coming up here in about 2 weeks, November 11th to the 14th. We have a virtual retreat called Activate Your Evolution. I'm going to be a participating presenter on this Activate Evolution. It is a virtual retreat. And there's going to be a handful of amazing people that are going to be presenting all kinds of stuff regarding activating your evolution and activating the awakening that's taking place. And of course, my focus is going to be on um, changing your relationship with fear. And I'm going to be presenting some powerful tools for how to state shift around changing your vibration from the fear based experience to an opportunity based experience. So check it out, www.activateevolution.com. You can register there. We look forward to seeing you. It's going to be an incredible event. Again, November 11th to the 14th, starting 11/11. And we'll be right back with Shellie. All right. We shall carry on. Are
It's a
you
little confusing, with the yeah, I'm here. It's a
yeah,
little confusing for people if they don't know, the hieroglyphics when you're looking at a chart.
that's true. And hopefully, and maybe even as we're looking at my chart, it looks a little simpler.
It
That might
is,
be helpful.
yeah, it has less stuff on it.
Yeah, so that might be a little less confusing because we're kind of highlighting it.
Yes.
So are we ready to
Mhm.
go there? So we wanted to, that was
Absolutely.
the next segment, was
Let's
break
do
out
it.
your charts.
Sure. Let's do it. See if
Break
you
out
can
your,
find where 27 degrees of Taurus is in
all
your
right.
chart.
In my chart,
And
27 degrees. 20.
when you find that area, as Jim found, the closest planet he has right now to this 27 degrees Taurus is Jupiter at 24 Taurus.
Yes.
And I think it's really interesting that right before we looked at his chart, he put up a piece about something he is going to be participating in as a teacher that is going to be a virtual retreat, and it's going to be able to be seen by everybody in the world because it's online. And so the ninth house is a house of teaching. It's a house of long distance. And Jupiter is a planet of expansion. And probably, I'm just guessing, Jim is going to be talking about ways to feel grounded and certain in your life and not in fear, and ways to expand your sense of well-being, and that's Taurus. So this is an example of where the light, the lunar eclipse, is bringing in a different direction for him. He is going to be with a group of people as a part of a large Jupiter endeavor. And this is, I think, maybe, something that is going to be a pathway into more of that kind of activity for him. So his relationship, it isn't so much about his personal relationship with his partner, his husband. It's not about his, it could be a thing about a relationship with someone who has something to do with the publishing, also, because ninth house is also publishing. So different ways to look at how, I can expand my reach with my publications. So something is coming up, and it isn't as though these thoughts have not been there already. Right. This is what I mean. This is not an unknown for him. It's not just going to hit him, smack him over the head.
Yeah, and really interesting that if I could add, because I want to support what you're saying. This time, as these months leading up to, and particularly over the last few weeks, and the intensity of that feeling has been building for me, where I spend at least some part of every day kind of leaning into, okay, what's next? Where am I focused in what am I presenting? And feeling a sense of not yetness. It's really weird, because it's like, I'm ready, I'm here, I've got my ducks in a row. And then I go, yeah, not quite yet. Okay. So I got to find, it's about, but this is really powerful, because it forces me to say, okay, it doesn't mean I have to force anything. It means I have to relax, because the timing isn't there yet. Feel into it. So don't beat my, because the tendency is like, okay, well, make my list, go, do. And none of that feels legitimate to me right now, as much as I might want to, so I'll feel better about it. But the reality is, I'm much
totally relate to this.
Just stay dialed into the process. Stuff keeps showing up. Stuff keeps presenting itself. I mean, this wonderful opportunity to do this incredible event coming up has given me a place to focus a lot of creativity and a lot of energy that I've been craving. So even in the context of the unfolding, I'm getting satisfaction, because I'm allowing the process to unfold, and I'm engaging it, rather than going, what's wrong with me? What do I have to do? Don't I have to fight? Don't I have to, and do all that angsty stuff? I don't want to go there. I'm kind of over the angsty stuff.
It's a daily process for me.
It's a daily process for me. I mean, I'm not, but I wanted to bring it up because of what you're saying, that, I'm living in that. And I want to validate that, because it's very real, and it's very powerful.
So, it's good that, he had a planet right there. That's why we wanted to show you that, so that you can understand. There are, actually, of course, the sun is going to be opposite that in the third house. And that third house is also about his writing and preparations and things like that, and going deeper with the Scorpio energy into, understanding more, getting more involved in the mystery.
You were saying the sun, because it's
opposite the moon, which is up by your Jupiter. So it's down in the third house in Scorpio. The moon is where the Taurus Jupiter is.
Right. Moon will be at the top.
The sun is exactly opposite that.
Oh, duh. It's an eclipse.
And a full moon even, but
and a full moon. No, it just took me a second to catch up with realizing, because you can do the transit thing pretty quick, because it's so natural, and I'm catching up with you going, how did you get the sun in the third house? Wait, Time out. Now I get it
That's
because
why
it's
I don't want to go too far in, because it's going to be like that for everybody,
right.
probably.
But that's amazing because but if we take that a step further, so the sun will be transiting across my third house, which is where my Neptune lives, which is also
Yes,
about
it's
the same energy, a similar energy. They're dispelling illusions and
yeah.
wow. So the sun's going to penetrate through Neptune. The moon's going to penetrate through Jupiter, and holy
Well,
wow.
yes. The sun will have penetrated through Neptune, like, that'll be, about 12 days earlier. But let's
Wow.
not go too far there.
Yeah, no,
Let's
no, that's
just know.
fine. I'm just that was all I needed. I was just kind of fascinated by that little
Okay.
piece.
Because, the way that you and anyone else who's watching this can work with the eclipse is the slide I would love to bring
Bam.
up. Okay, so this is how I'm going to approach, because we've got some time. We've got,
Yes.
the 4 weeks that we can go in and just really become conscious of what's going on. So we find where it is in the chart, and if you need help with that, you can get in touch with me. There is a place, and maybe there are aspects also that are forming. If you have a chart and you can read it, you'll know. But even if you don't have that, even if you don't know where is this affecting me, we know that it's a polarity about values also, because Taurus is my values and Scorpio are the values of others. Taurus is my money, my possessions, my body, and Scorpio is shared resources and things like loans and that type of money that you get from others.
Hmm.
So this is something that you can look at also as part of what this is going to look like or be about. So the first thing I say, as I said, is we always know. We really do. So we have to
Hmm.
find a way through the denial. And one of the things that you can use for that is that breath practice. You can take that
Hmm.
thought into that breath practice that we do with Jim, and we know that we can say, reveal to me what I need to know, as we're doing that breath practice also.
Yeah.
And then I would suggest that we do some writing, like, keep a little bit of a journal for these 4 weeks and sort of track the day and the things that stood out in terms of relationships with other people, dealings with finance, all of the things that relate to what we're talking about,
Yeah.
situations and your values and things, and just, keep a little bit of a notebook about that. And that will help you focus in on what's going on. And once you do decide to align with the change that is for the highest good of all, not just you. Start to
Right.
feel into the circumstance. How does this work for everyone?
Shelly, can I
And
jump in
then
for just a second, if I may?
go ahead.
I just wanted to. I was thinking as you were talking about denial. I just wanted to highlight that experience for a second because the knowing part. I want to try to convey this because everybody has the denial is a form of resistance, and it is a
Yeah.
resistance that's born out of the idea that something's wrong with us, and that if something is in our world that isn't quite resolved or isn't quite the way we want it, that there is ultimately a fear that we can't have what we want. So we go into denial of what we're experiencing in order to distance ourselves from that disappointment. And what Shelley is saying, that find a way through that, whether you breathe, whether you walk in nature, whether you do yoga, whatever it is you do that helps you come into alignment with that greatest part of you that is not fighting against yourself, so that you can find this place to align into the change that she's talking about. But understand that denial she's talking about is the natural slash unnatural, but the human resistance to something that doesn't even make sense in relation to what you're looking at. But it's there. So we want to acknowledge it so that you can say, oh, okay, I'm having a little resistance because I'm afraid that I'm going to find out something I don't want to know. That will never be the case. And rest in knowing that's not the case, and use the breath and your energy to find that center. Thank you for letting me go there. Go ahead.
Yes, that's great. And I just, to add to the resistance piece, is that people have a natural resistance to change.
Yes.
Because we don't know what change looks like. And so that is one of the things that can stop us from moving forward. And an eclipse will come and give you a push that you know, if you really need that push, but why get pushed when you can walk with awareness into it?
Right.
So this is why when you align with the change that is for the highest good of all, you're making that decision. It's a decision to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what's going to start coming into your world. My world is good. My change is going to reflect the highest good for all people. I allow divine timing. We just talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And conscious participation.
Yes.
To be in this. The timing is not necessarily mine, but I will allow that divine timing to unfold as I consciously participate in aligning with the change that's to the highest good of everyone. And while I'm doing this, I am creating a vision of what the highest degree of love in the situation looks like. So let's take, for example,
and can I throw something in that one too, because I think that it helps with the denial piece. And that is
okay.
That is a tool that I've been using recently, and it's so interesting that you have that there. Create a vision of the highest degree of love in the situation. I have been, in my personal experience, confronting some things that don't feel good, and particularly, with some other people in my world, and I have been actively, because I'm trying to be conscious through my process. I've actively been infusing the situation with love rather than going down the rabbit hole of one more way my mind wants to tell me how I should handle this. And so I stop myself in the minute and I go, time out. You're going down a rabbit hole. Let me just fill this space with love. Let me fill our space together with love. Let me just put love here. And as soon as I do, all of the energy dissipates and I can go on about my next thing. But also be aware you can call it back in a heartbeat if you want to. The trick is not to call it back. The trick is to continue to fill the space with love so that you can move into these spaces that Shelley's talking about. Thank you, Shellie.
Right. Right. And it's there's another way. One of my friends says, request the most benevolent outcome.
There you go. I like
in
that.
any situation. That's her. She's English, which is why I sort of said it like that. So you have all kinds of ways you could do this. And then you can choose if you wish. You don't have to, but it can be helpful to empower the vision that you have through meditation on it, through ceremony. And you see, the picture of the smudge, the smoke,
yep.
And prayer. So
Beautiful.
this is how to engage. And this is basically how to engage. If you got a reading with me, you would be getting these pieces of advice if you were coming into challenging aspects other than eclipses. But this is basically how to become aligned with what's happening so you can put your own understanding and power into it. So, and then, of course, I say, get a reading of your birth chart for validation and timing of your vision.
And there you will see Shellie Enteen's website so that you can reach out to her to get your birth chart if you would like.
That's great. So, this is, and this is how, we're going to have the solar eclipse coming for the end of the year solar eclipse, December 4th. Right. So you can also start knowing that there are changes in the outer world. And we might be speaking about that chart. That's in Sagittarius, 12 degrees of Sagittarius. So you might want to look at your chart right now and say, where's that going to be happening?
Let's see. 12 degrees of Sagittarius. Let's see. Sag is going to be on my fourth house.
Yeah, in the fourth house and very close to your moon.
Wow, isn't that
It's very,
interesting? My
yeah.
wow. And how many degrees will it
So
be in Sagittarius?
12.
Oh wow, okay. So right there. And then the
Right.
sun will be lighting up the 10th house then. Or no, the moon will be lighting up the 10th
Yes.
house.
The moon first, and then the sun. The sun and moon will be together for the solar eclipse as a new moon.
Oh, wow, that's a whole other
So
dynamic. Okay.
it's a whole other thing.
Isn't that exciting?
But yeah, so, this is that's what I wanted to convey
And you did
because,
an amazing
this
job conveying it.
I hope,
So no, you did great. So we have a couple minutes left. So is there anything, I love where we went with this because while it's complicated, it can be complicated. It's only because of unfamiliarity, not necessarily because it's hard to understand. Um,
yeah,
but I so appreciate you taking the time to walk us through this. And guys, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And again, www.shellyenteen.com to see the expert about this. How would
thank
you like
you.
to wrap this up today? And what would you like to say to the folks about
Well,
this experience?
I want to say that we are in this time of, again, tremendous division. It's like it seems like it's impossible. You'll hear that all the time.
Yeah.
And what I really would love to see is that we become more conscious, as you said earlier, and we decide that we're not going to engage the division. And the
Amen to
more
that.
people who are going to become conscious of these moments that are being supported by the celestial energies and use them and use it with the idea that our world is good and we can
Hmm.
expand that good world also into the field of the planet, and we can form the return to greater unity. I would
Yes,
love to see that be
it
an
would be
outcome.
amazing. And I would add to that to recognize that in the inner world reflects the outer world, and the outer world reflects the inner world. So if you are experiencing division, it's time to go in, because the division you're experiencing is within yourself that you are perceiving on the outside. And while we can observe it and we cannot like that it's there, there's a difference between observing something and participating in something. And so the idea for me of fighting against division is antithetical to harmony. So let's not fight against division. Let's heal the division we have going on within ourselves and step into the world in that undivided place so that that energy then translates to others and to others and to others. But we show up whole and complete rather than showing up in a way that's deficient, that doesn't serve the situation.
Right.
So
Yes,
good
I
stuff all
agree.
the way around. I'm excited. Shelly's going to be back next month. We'll be talking about the solar eclipse as well, and maybe we'll use that time to focus into the impact of solar eclipse as we did with this one for lunar eclipse. That could be fun too. Then we get it all done. We just do it in two separate times, which I like.
It's worth it.
It is. It is. This is. It's been a powerful conversation. And again, remember, guys, the where am I at here? Lunar eclipse. The eclipse is coming at the end of November, so we still have some time. But prepare yourselves. Be ready for it. Embrace this eclipse energy so that you can get the most from it with the least amount of angst and agita. Which, I laugh. We were talking a little bit about the Mercury retrograde thing, and it's always funny to me because I've never been a guy who kind of lays there and says, "Oh, that's Mercury retrograde." But it's amazing to me how much it shows up, and you go, you can't deny this is an impact. You cannot deny that shit has fallen apart all over the place. And I'm like, how many computer issues I've had, and how many miscommunications. I'm like, oh my word. So that's why the
Yes.
consciousness is so important. Anyway, we have completely run out of time.
Okay.
Shelly, always amazing to see you. Thank you for this great topic, and
Great to see you too.
yeah, giving us all this
Thank
great
you.
information to help us understand what we're dealing with. So y'all have a great day. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next time on Adventures in Truth. Oh. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Adventures in Truth Livecast. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to learn more about Jim's book, Fear is a Choice, Unraveling the Illusion of Our Separation from Love, check it out at www.fearisachoicebook.com. Also check out Moments of Truth, a new offering from Adventures in Truth. If you'd like to work with Jim, check out www.thesciencetransformation.com to book a session. Tune in live every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time and every Friday, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Or look for our new releases and podcasts every Monday. Until next time, be well, and we'll see you again on Adventures in Truth Livecast.